שלום כולם, בסייביריה, באתי להגיד טרריה, כי זה גם כן נגמר ביער. בפרק הקודם סיימנו את החלק הראשון בוואלדילן, והגענו לתחנת רכבת השנייה. אני חושב שדיברנו עם אוסקר כבר.
Everything okay, Oscar?
Yes, Kate Walker. I am awaiting your instructions.
Oscar, I think that Hans Vorarlberg once stayed in this town after he left Valadilen. Maybe this wasn't a chance stopover after all.
Nothing is left to chance in a railroad network.
You agree with me then?
We have no concrete proof to support your hypothesis. The train stopped because the clockwork mechanism is unwound. That is the only
I was just hoping for a little imagination.
No, Kate.
אני חושב שקראנו את כל הדבר הזה, וגם אם לא, זה לא כזה משנה. בואו נמשיך עם המשחק. אני מקווה שאלה מכם שכן צופים במשחק הזה נהנים ממנו. אני חושב שהוא משחק מטורף. אז כבר לאיזה צד צריך ללכת קודם. לפה אפשר ללכת, יש כאן, זה כאילו אזור שצריך לעשות הרבה אחר כך, אבל למה לא לעשות את זה קודם? אם אני רוצה את זה בצד הזה. כן, כמעט יותר פשוט בצד הזה. כן.
Looks like the winding machine I used in the Valadilen station. I've got to find a way of getting
לא
the
משנה, זה
train.
בצד השני. אוקיי, אז צריך איכשהו לגרום לרכבת להגיע לאזור פה, כדי שנוכל כביכול לתת לה את האנרגיה שהיא צריכה, את האנרגיה... צריך לסובב שם את הקפיצים קיצר. לא יודע איך לקרוא לזה. אני אקרא ויינדינג באנגלית. לדעתי אין פה שום דבר בהמשך. כן. אוקיי. כי בשביל להגיע לצד השני, אז אין לנו איך להגיע לצד הזה בשביל להשתמש במכונה כמו שהשתמשנו בוואלדילן. אז צריך איכשהו שהרכבת תגיע לשם, כדי שנוכל לעבור לצד השני דרך הרכבת. טוב, לדעתי אין לנו ממש אופציה לעשות משהו בצד ימין כרגע, כלומר בצד השני של הרכבת.
Kate Walker! Kate Walker! Come over here, please! I have something to say to you!
אוקיי, לאוסקר יש משהו להגיד לנו. בטח חשוב אם הוא יצא למקום שהוא יכול להחליט בו בקלות. אם אני לא טועה, זה הסיבה שהוא לא יוצא החוצה בכל הסטיישן הזה. יש פה איזה משהו באוויר שעושה לו לא טוב.
Yes, Oscar. What is it?
A message has arrived for you.
A message?
You have been summoned to see the rectors. They are the highest authority at the university. They want to talk to you.
Talk to me?
Yes, to the person responsible for the train.
So, I'm in charge now. Sure, okay. But why would these gentlemen want to see me at all?
They do not say why, just that it's very important.
אוקיי. אני חושב שזה קבוצת אנשים שרוצה לדבר איתנו. לפני שנמשיך בצד שהיינו בו עכשיו, אני רוצה לוודא שאין פה שום דבר חוץ מהציפורים, כי לדעתי אין פה שום דבר חוץ מהציפורים. אולי יש פה משהו חוץ מהציפורים. הציפורים כאילו פשוט לא יתנו לנו לעבור כרגע. הם משום מה מאוד תוקפניות, ומשום מה קייט מפחד מהם במקום לבעוט להם בראש פשוט. לדעתי אנחנו לא יכולים להתקדם באזור הזה. כן. אבל אפשר לחצות פה את הגשר הצד השני. אוקיי. כאילו יש פה עוד המשך בשביל שם, אבל אנחנו לא יכולים עדיין לעבור שם, ולדעתי פה זה מוביל אותנו לאותו אזור שהיינו קודם. כן. נכון, פה כניסה לרכבת, כן. אני חושב שאני רוצה להגיע לפה קודם. כן, זה פה. נסיים את האזור הזה. Hello.
Hello.
You arrived by train, I see.
Yes, I've come from Valadilen.
It's been a long time since I've seen a train here. Students, did you bring students with you?
No, I traveled alone. Well, almost alone.
I remember around the start of fall, the train would bring kids from all around the world to study zoology and botany, paleontology, and all that stuff. This was a great university.
And it isn't still great today, then?
Today?
Okay, יש פה זה
Have you been
אוניברסיטה.
the station master of Barrelstadt for a long time?
I've never had another job. Now, you tell me, are you in charge of this train?
No, I mean, I'm not sure.
So what's your thing here? Do you come here to do some bookworming over at the university?
Well, sort of. I'm always looking for new information.
Well, you don't seem to know a lot. And about that train, it's going to get in the way if you leave it there, that's for sure.
In fact, I'm a lawyer and I'm conducting a pretty unusual investigation.
Investigation, huh? Hey, I'm just a station master. I don't know too much about anything.
Well, you never know. Anybody could be significant in this case.
See, nobody actually tells me anything, so my hands are totally clean.
הוא מאוד חשוד
I
בינתיים.
never implied they weren't. You don't know where I might find equipment to wind up my train springs, do you?
Not in this station, that's for sure. And I would know. You might want to try near the wall. So, staying for long, miss?
No. I mean, I don't know, actually. 1 or 2 days tops. You see, I've got to wind my train back up so that I can continue my journey.
It's just, if you stay here too long, I might get in trouble. The train should stop, then leave again. That's the rule. Besides, your machine's disturbing the birds.
Maybe you could take me up to this wall? If there were 2 of us, we could find what I need to wind up my train even quicker.
Miss, forgive me, I gotta stick with English. You know, I have to man the station. I don't want to get into trouble with my superiors at the university. You understand?
I feel like I've lost my way a little here. I could really do with your help.
Hey, anything I can do, miss, you just let me know.
Okay.
The name Hans Vorarlberg doesn't mean anything to you by chance, does it?
Oh, do you really think I'd remember one little name from the thousands that pass through this station?
I'm sorry to junk up your station like this,
לפחות לסיפור.
but the spring mechanism on my train needs winding.
כבר אמרת את זה.
Spring-operated locomotive. There's a thing.
Yeah, and an impractical thing, too.
I always dreamed of taking the train, but now I'm over the hill. And someone has to take care of the birds, after all.
All these birds in a station. It's amazing.
This is no ordinary station, miss. Oh, no. These birds are part of the prestigious University of Barrelstadt Ornithological Collection. Over the years, this aviary has housed some of the most fantastic species from all over the world. And I'm not exactly your typical station master. This is a lot of responsibility, and that is no easy task.
I can well believe you.
And you know what's the hardest? The hardest thing is to keep interspecial harmony. And one day some explorer introduced a couple of cuckoos from the Amazon. Whoa!
It wasn't a good
נשמע
idea.
שממש אוהב ציפורים.
A nightmare! You know, cuckoos lay their eggs in the nests of other species, right? Now, what's more, they also push the host's eggs out of the nest so that they receive all the mother's attention, right?
זה באמת אמיתי על ציפורי קוקייה, במקרה
I
ולדעתם.
see what you mean. That's one tricky
מה שנקרא
bird.
ציפור טפילה.
And there was nothing you could do to stop it.
משתלט על קן של ציפור
The
אחרת,
faculty
ומטיל
declares the
שם
bird
ביצים.
a protected species. If it wasn't for our mechanical eagle, we were sitting on a major ornithological catastrophe.
You have an automaton here?
A wonder of technology. It's an eagle that's mounted on wings in the air. It passes through...
אוקיי, עכשיו אנחנו יודעים בוודאות שהאנס וורלברג היה פה. הוא בנה להם אוטומטון של איזה מין נשר.
Why not?
I can't climb up the gangway. I fell off it several months back, and I still have a pain in my spine. Not to mention the vertigo I've been getting. I only have to look up in the air. Whoa.
You poor soul. That must be very hard.
Worst thing is, cuckoo eggs piling up in the nests. Soon the rectors are gonna notice. There's trouble in store. Big trouble. I'm worried. Yep, worried.
I won't disturb you.
הוא קצת חולה נפש, אבל לא נורא.
Welcome to Barrockstadt, miss.
בן אדם מוזר. כל התחנה הטרופית הזאת קצת משונה. אבל זה קונספט מעניין לתחנת רכבת. אני יכול להבין אבל למה אין כאלה במציאות. או לפחות אין הרבה. זה לא נראה לי מאוד יעיל. לא, ציפורים זה לא החיה הכי חכמה בעולם, ובוודאות יתעקו ברכבת תוך כדי שהיא נוסעת. פה זה רק המכשיר הזה, אם אני זוכר נכון, ואופציה לצאת החוצה. רגע, לאן זה מוביל אותי? אוקיי, זה מוביל לפה גם כן, סבבה. וזה מאותו מקום. אז בואו נלך לפה קודם. בואו נפגוש את זוג הרוסים שיש פה. שלום.
Hey there, on the boat.
Guten Tag, schöne Mademoiselle.
זה לא רוסי.
My husband say, hello young lady.
למה זכרתי שהם
You
רוסים?
want to talk to us?
בתור ילד חשבתי שגרמנית זה, או לא זה, לא יודע איזה שפה
And I'm a
זאת.
lawyer. I'm in charge of this train.
גרמנית או
The
הולנדית.
situation is really
חשבתי
very
שהם
new to
רוסים?
me. Lawyer, good job. Earn lot of money. A lot? A lot? No, I wouldn't go that far. But I can't really complain, I guess. But there's worse. Lawyer always ask a lot of money. Can we change the subject, please? I really don't want to go down this road. Are you from Barrockstadt? Yet. So you're like me. Birds just passing through. I'm stuck here because of my train.
Kleine Puskereisen mit uns, no?
What did he say? Train kaput. No luck for you. I have a little problem with my train. It's kind of broken. I've absolutely got to get it out of the station. Do you think you could tow it over to the wall with your barge? Lock closed. Barge blocked. But if the locks were open, would it be okay to tow my train then?
Porque no? More money for that work.
Da, it's possible. My husband say we help you if you give money. Right.
Okay.
And how much do you want?
Cinquante.
He want $150. $150? I don't have that much. No
את עורכת
money,
דין.
no barge. Let me offer you $75. Nay, $125. Out of the question. $100 and not a dime more. Correct. You have barge for $100. Great. Now, don't move. I'll be back as quick as possible with the money.
אוקיי, אז עכשיו איך שרוצה להשיג כסף?
You must really get to see the countryside. Do you know New York at all? We not understand. I'm looking for a funny little man who is supposed to live in Siberia. Can you imagine that? Siberia. I expect you've already been there.
Shivraga come to Siberia?
Sייביריה. No. Too cold. Barge no break ice.
את זה ראינו,
I have a
נכון?
little problem with my train. It's kind of broke. Lock closed. Barge blocked. But if the locks were open, would it be okay to tow my train then?
אוקיי, אז צריך לפתוח להם את זה.
Marmone for that's fair.
It's possible.
אוקיי, ראינו את ה...
I
יש לה
hope my
כסף?
train isn't too big for your barge.
It's okay. Motorboat, eerste klasse.
My husband say correct. Powerful motor. I mean, we're not exactly very far from the winding machine, are we? It's dumb, isn't it? All this effort to go a few yards. Put train in barge? Not possible. Have you gone down to take a look around the station yet? It's amazing. You know, it's full of exotic birds.
Me to Moigir? Ja. Ja, met plezier.
We no leave boat. Husband is land sick. It's not very polite of you to take advantage of my predicament. We could have done favors for each other, for free, out of solidarity.
Favor, Allah speak not full. Money, ja, muy full.
Excuse me? My husband say need money for leave. $100 not lot for fancy lady like you. How would you know a fancy lady like me, really?
איי, דמויות מעולות.
I'll leave you to it. I won't disturb you again.
עד שיהיה לי את הכסף. למה חשבתי שהם רוסים בתור ילד קטן? אוקיי. עכשיו בואו נלך לאוניברסיטה. רגע. דס לי דנה זה כן ברוסית. אז אני לא יודע. זה כן היה רוסית שהוא דיבר, זה לא הגיוני. לא יודע. אולי זה היה כמה שפות מעורבבות. בתור בדיחה על עולים חדשים.
Hello.
Hey, baby, you party? You sure looking mighty fine. Love those big round eyes.
Just who do you think you are?
למה דיברתי איתו?
Hey,
שכחתי
spunky.
כמה אני
I
שונא את
like that
הדמות
in a
הזאת.
lady. Okay, I'm hooked. Come on, Zol. I'll let you buy me that coffee.
I don't remember ever asking.
Hey, don't play hard to get. I know you like it big time.
Listen, kid. Go back home and play with your toy cars and forget you ever saw me.
כן, אני לא הולך לדבר איתה יותר בחיים. כאן יש חידה מגניבה. אני לא זוכר באיזה צד בדיוק. הדבר הזה.
This thing's jammed.
בואו נראה מה יש לאוניברסיטה להציע לנו. אז בינתיים אנחנו להשיג כסף, אנחנו צריכים איכשהו לפתוח לסירת דרך להגיע לרכבת שלנו, כי כרגע הם חסומים. ומן הסתם צריך למצוא דרך לצאת מפה פשוט, שזה כולל בתוכו את כל הדבר הזה שאמרתי עד עכשיו. לא זוכר בדיוק לאיזה חדר צריך להיכנס פה, יש איזה כמה דברים נעולים כרגע נדעתי. רגע, זה האזור ש... נכון? זה נראה לי החדר שצריך להגיע אליו בסוף. זה האנשים שקראו לי לדעתי. אין לי כוח אליהם עכשיו. זה לדעתי חדר נעול. לא? זה הספרייה. בספרייה יש איזה ספר שצריך להשיג. למרות שאני לא חושב שאני עדיין יודע איזה ספר אני אמור להשיג. עדיין לא קיבלתי את המידע של הספר שאני אמור להשיג, אז לדעתי זה לא הייתי לי לקחת אותו. לדעתי הוא נמצא פה במרכז. אולי לא?
Excuse me. Can I disturb you a second?
No.
You could be a little bit nicer about it.
Keep quiet. In case you haven't noticed, we're somewhere that requires silence and tranquility.
בריטי מעצבן. אז זה כן נמצא על המדפים כנראה. השאלה היא איפה. לדעתי איפשהו יש איזה סולם שאני צריך לטפס עליו. כן. עכשיו היא פשוט תתפוס ספר רנדומלי שעדיין לא קיבלנו מידע על זה שאנחנו צריכים להשיג אותו בכלל? נראה שכן. אוקיי. איפה המידע החשוב? זה הספר עם הפטריות? אוקיי. אני חושב. מה כתוב חשוב על הפטריות? אני כבר לא זוכר. טוב, אני לא זוכר מה חשוב. אין פה עוד ספר לדעתי שאנחנו צריכים לקחת. אוקיי. טוב, סיימנו עם הספרייה. פה למעלה אם אני לא טועה. אם אני לא טועה אין פה שום דבר בתכלס. כאילו כרגע אין פה שום דבר. זה פשוט מין עולם הרצאות כזה. לא, אל תציעי. אוקיי, פה כלום. אחר כך אנחנו נעבור פה הרצאה כלשהי. איך אני יוצא מפה? דרך פה. שלום.
No point. It's locked.
ולדעתי כאן יש חדר שתגיד It's locked but I still got to get in there.
No point.
לא משנה, אבל זה חדר שיפתח אחר כך.
Excuse me. Sir, please, just a moment.
Yes, what is it? I'm not deaf, you know.
I am sorry to disturb you in your work, sir, but...
This young mammothus primigenius is barely 40,000 years old. Fantastic, wouldn't you say, miss?
Yes. Probably.
What do you mean, probably?
I don't know.
You don't know? Well, you don't know, I see. What can I do for you, my dear child?
קוראים לי קייט.
To tell you the truth, I don't know very much about mammoths. And I'm not here as a student. In fact, I'm a lawyer.
It's all right. Nobody's perfect. All the same, the study of the Pleistocene period is fascinating.
I'm sure it is. But I'm sorry to say my current mission is totally monopolizing my time. Another time, maybe.
Ah, that's what they all say. But anyway, let me present myself. I'm Cornelius Ponce, Emeritus Professor and Lecturer at the University of Barhochstadt. I'm proud to say that I'm head of the Department of Paleozoology at our university.
Kate Walker. Pleased to meet you. It wasn't really my intention to stop off here, but I'll confess, this university is really very impressive.
Ah, indeed. There's such a tradition of learning here. And so much knowledge, a real depth of culture, intelligence, and gray matter. I myself
להגיד שהאוניברסיטה
did my
הזאת
studies
די
here
פצפונת.
and never left.
Actually, I'm here because I've been summoned by the rectors of the university.
Oh, I see. You must have made a mistake on your enrollment form.
Oh, no. I haven't come here to study. I have an important matter of inheritance to attend to. I have to find the heir.
And you hope you will find him here?
I'm not altogether sure. But you see, my train broke down coming into Barhochstadt Station.
In that case, my dear, you must come to one of my lectures. Here's a question for you. Do you know what the Proboscidean order is?
The Probo-Whatian?
You see? There are gaps in your knowledge that need refreshing.
I
אוקיי.
feel I've lost my way a little here. I could really do with your help.
Oh, my dear child, you've chosen your moment. I absolutely must finish off my lecture for this afternoon.
It's a lecture about mammoths?
Oh, yes and no. More specifically, it is about their migration. Do excuse me, I need to concentrate.
To tell you the truth, I'm looking for Mr. Hans Vorarlberg. He's the sole heir of a very unusual factory. My company is in charge of negotiations for the takeover of this factory. At last word, he was living in Seybiria. So, as soon as my train is ready, I'll be continuing my journey eastwards.
Seybiria. Ah, Seybiria. But what was it you said again?
Said what?
You mentioned a name. The person you are looking for.
Vorarlberg. Hans Vorarlberg. Do you know him?
Hans Vorarlberg. How could I forget him? Such an extraordinary fellow.
אוקיי, אז הוא היה פה.
So inventive. We shared a passion for mammoths, you know, and we bonded over this passion. Without it, I confess, I would have had little to do with an odd, ageless retard like Hans. At the time, we were both students.
הם למדו ביחד.
Put it this way, Hans had special permission to attend paleontology lectures. You see, he didn't really have the necessary qualifications. In exchange, Hans did a few odd jobs around the university.
Your Hans Vorarlberg sounds uncannily like the one I'm looking for.
I'm not sure, my dear. Hans was above all questions of money and business. Just to imagine him running a factory, perish the thought.
Can you tell me a little bit more about him?
He was always a mystery to me. He never said very much, never quite seemed to grasp what you said to him. He expressed himself instead through his incredible mechanical contraptions. His inventions, I admit, have been much appreciated by the university. The few times we really did talk, it was about his strange interest for mammoths and a doll. Some sort of doll that obsessed him.
וואלה.
A doll, you say?
יש לי את הבובה הזאת.
Yes, he kept talking about it. One day he described it to me. A sort of children's toy. A miniature mammoth mounted by a mound. It appears he found it in a cave not far from his home. The event all sounds very dramatic. His account was slightly confused, but it awoke a great interest in me.
What do you mean?
To my knowledge, there was only one tribe who made figurines featuring a mouth, and that tribe is the Yukols. They live in the farthest reaches of Siberia, and for them, the dolls constituted a sacred object, illustrating one of their central legends. How such a doll made the journey from the frozen Siberian north to a cave in the French Alps is a mystery to me. Even today, it is beyond my comprehension.
have you considered that Hans Varlberg was maybe making it up? You said yourself he didn't seem
מה?
to have all
איך
his
את יכולה להגיד דבר
mental
כזה? יש לך את
facilities
הבובה
intact.
הזאת. מפגרת.
Oh, that's impossible. Hans couldn't invent a story like that. The doll is a sacred part of the Seybiria legend. He described it to me in exact detail. Seybiria itself is a chimera that paleontologists of the world are very fond of pursuing.
Arriving in Barrackstadt is an amazing experience. I've never seen such a station.
You came by train?
Yes,
אמרתי לך
in
את
a
זה כבר.
kind of clockwork train with a spring mechanism that winds down regularly.
You mean you drive a train? Young ladies of today never cease to amaze me.
Oh, no, I'm not the engineer. The train's engineer is actually an automaton. I am sorry, all this probably sounds very strange.
A clockwork train, driven by an automaton. I once knew
Oh,
a man
דיברנו
long
עליו.
ago who could have invented such a train. It was he who designed the bandstand in the main square. To think that he was even capable of creating such a gadget. He was astounding, a true genius. But oddly, at the same time, he was also almost a child. It was as if his mental and physical evolution had definitively halted at the age of 10. Can you believe that?
Yes. I think I can believe that. At least I'm beginning to.
חבל.
My train stopped in a peculiar aviary. It's very odd. A lot of bird species seem to seek harbor there.
Ornithology is far from being my favorite subject, but I must concede that the station is the pride of the university. It was initially intended for teaching purposes, but then birds started arriving from all around the world. It seems that there are still rare species breeding there and flourishing.
Are there? Can you give me an example?
I have been told about a kind of bird with peculiar habits. Let's see now, the Amazon cuckoo. That's right. But, oh, I'm so foolish. I can't remember what was so special about it. Just that its behavior is very peculiar.
The Amazon? Where's the Amazon? What is the Amazon?
I'm sorry, my dear, but one cannot learn everything in a lifetime. Specialization is the key to real knowledge. Why don't you pay a visit to our library?
Thank you very much. Professor, how do I say this? You see, I didn't think I'd need a lot of money when I set out. And it turns out I need money after all. It's a delicate matter, I know, but I was wondering if you could help me out.
My dear,
מבקש
it
ממישהו
would be a
רנדומלי
pleasure,
כסף.
but you see, I barely have enough myself to cover my meager expenditure on what I'm paid by the university.
Sorry, I didn't mean to offend or...
However, if we look at the example of Hans, it is true that our university always rewards people who perform some service for it. This is our dear rector's jurisdiction, however.
I'll leave you in peace. I hope I haven't disturbed you too much.
Sorry? No, not at all, my dear child.
אוקיי, אז זה היה הפרופסור. סך הכל בחור נחמד. עכשיו ניכנס לפה. שלום לכם.
Good day to you, gentlemen.
Tell me, young lady, to what do we owe this pleasure?
Please do be brief. We do not have very much time on our hands.
As rectors of this university, we have serious matters to attend to and our time is precious.
I have heard you wish to meet the owner of the train that is currently in your station. May I know the reason for your summons?
We are surprised that your train has not yet left, miss. The situation is most regrettable.
The rules do clearly state that trains are meant to come and go and not remain stationary at a platform.
Trains should first stop, then subsequently leave. That is the rule.
We agree then, dear colleagues, that what we're dealing with is deviant behavior.
This matter really is cause for concern.
It's a clockwork train, you see? So it needs winding up again. Unfortunately, there is no equipment in the station to do this.
A clockwork train? That's strange.
How very quaint. You mean it's some sort of mechanical toy?
You are causing a hindrance to us, miss.
I am very hopeful that I will find what I need along the wall.
The wall? Miss, that really is not a suitable place for you to go.
Especially for a young lady.
אז מבחינתם כאילו תחנת רכבת זה המקום שהכי אפשר להתקדם אליו עם רכבות פה. כי הקיר די חוסם כאילו את הפסי הרכבת.
It protects us from harm and invasion from the unknown.
מה?
May God protect us from what is beyond those ramparts, miss. Please believe me.
I don't have any choice. I must continue my journey.
Such a decision is a correct one since it's in line with regulations.
Thus, your train will indeed be able to leave.
And consequently cease to obstruct our station.
I haven't introduced myself. My name is Kate Walker.
Walker. Haven't we already had a Miss Walker? Ethnology Masters, September 1953, if my memory serves me correctly.
Perfectly well, my dear colleague. But if I may be so bold, it was a Mr. Walker and not a Miss. It was Bill Walker, sat the June 68 exams. The impudent fool turned up for the oral assessment in jeans, flouting strict internal regulations which explicitly state the required uniform for the occasion.
Pure incitement. It was scandalous. Sadly, we have seen worse since. Young people lack all respect of traditional values.
Tradition, young lady. One must always uphold tradition.
You see, I didn't actually intend to stop here, but the springs of my train gave up, you see?
No, not really. You mean to say you're not a student?
You have arrived a little late in the term, miss. Enrollment for this year has already terminated.
But as rectors of this university and therefore representatives of its highest authority, we could bend the rules a little, if you like.
Ma?
You don't understand. I'm a lawyer from New York, or rather Valladolid more precisely. My client wants to buy out an old mechanical toy factory, but its heir isn't actually dead and is living somewhere in Seybiria. I've got to get to him to sign the sales contract. You see?
Not really. This is a most peculiar tale.
A kerfuffle of the highest order.
We have an excellent law school, if you should ever change your mind.
Can you possibly help me out here?
Miss, your insistence is almost verging on indecency.
We cannot constantly be at your disposal. We have many other requests to attend to.
If you don't mind, could you not disturb us all the time? Thank you.
Does the name Hans Vorarlberg mean anything to you by chance?
Ah, one of the brightest, most idealistic intellects to have graced our university. Hans Vorarlberg. I remember speaking to him once. I was still a student at the time. He just stared at me, lost in thought for a while. He scarcely ever said a word. But how can one forget him?
Idealistic? I'll grant you that. But bright? Oh, don't go too far. He was completely incapable of passing any exams. All he ever did was to sit in on lessons, and not many of them either. Paleontology, mainly. He had an unhealthy passion for mammoths, which matched the state of his intellect perfectly. That is to say, prehistoric.
Prehistoric? How dare you? A little far-fetched, maybe. But he did have flashes of intellectual brilliance, comprehensible only to high-minded scholars who hold no score by appearances. My dear colleague, your hasty conclusions are somewhat cavalier.
My assessment is wholly accurate. The boy was a little odd. You must concur my father, who was rector of the university at the time, had not shown great indulgence towards him. Hans Vorarlberg would have never attended this establishment.
What about the bandstand, then? Is that the work of a deranged mind? Even after all these years, you are still jealous of it.
My dear colleagues, I beseech you, let's show some...
No, not at all. I'm looking for him to clear up an inheritance...
What?
שאלה אם הוא עדיין פה.
At the university? No, not
אז זה היה לפני הרבה
now. He
זמן.
left a long time.
The poor soul moved on once he learned all he needed to know about...
Ah, this establishment was never quite the same after his departure. It must...
You mean to say it was never as bad? All that.
Gentlemen, gentlemen, let...
Does the name...
נו,
What
באמת.
about...
No.
Here we are, busy...
לא, לא התכוונתי לצאת. רק רוצה לסיים את השיחות איתם.
Gentlemen,
They are...
No,
אוקיי.
excuse me.
Miss, we find ourselves terribly put out by the presence of your train in our station and by its recurrent immobility.
indeed, the situation is very regrettable. Your...
A train should first stop.
אוקיי.
That idea of the station aviary is really very original.
It's the pride of our university. One of the specialties taught here is zoology, you see, and more particularly, ornithology. Proper study and instruction should not be limited to books. Observation of living matter is indissociable from theoretical questions.
It contains some very rare specimens that have been brought back from...
Do you remember Alexander Val...
Absolutely.
אוקיי, אז יש הרבה
His-
ציפורים.
Poison chalice, indeed.
Oh, yes, it...
Some sailors have agreed to tow the train, but I don't have enough money to pay them. I was wondering if you could help me out. For a while. I could work for the money.
Please wait, miss. We have certain confibulations to attend to.
That is right. We must confibulate between ourselves. A collegiate decision must...
I hope that we are not indisposing...
Why not?
If it helps us get rid of that train...
My word, that is a fine idea.
What do you have in mind, gentlemen?
When you arrived here, you must have noticed a splendid bandstand which honors the main university courtyard.
A unique piece of mechanical craftsmanship which no longer works, alas.
Why, yes, we have very moving memories of its melodies. We're prepared to offer you a financial reward if you can set it working again.
אוקיי.
With pleasure. What do I have to do?
Unfortunately, my dear, time and rust have taken their toll on this university, and our automatons no longer have a spring in their step.
To tell you the truth, there are a number of complex mechanisms here.
Your
אז הם לא יודעים
train,
איך לעבוד עם
however, is
זה.
an extremely ingenious invention.
I hope that I can show my...
Well, my dear colleagues,
כן, אז בסופו של דבר, בשביל כסף, אנחנו צריכים להפעיל את המכונה פה. המכונה פה אנחנו צריכים איכשהו למצוא משקל שיוריד את הביצה מזהב למטה וזה יהיה שווה כנראה. ולדעתי אני יכול לקחת את הבובת ממותה עכשיו ולהראות לפרופסור פה. אני לא זוכר אם אני צריך להסתכל על המכשיר שמגביה את המים, לא משנה, יש שיחת טלפון קודם.
Hello?
So, you got him then, this air?
Ah, it's you, Mr. Marson. Good day, and how are you, sir?
I'll feel a whole lot better when this whole business is over and the sales contract is
זה מעצבן.
signed. Where the hell are you?
I'm in Bergstadt.
What? What in God's name are you doing there?
It's a magnificent university town. It would appear Hans Vorarlberg once passed by here several years ago.
So if he isn't there anymore, then there's no point hanging around.
I hear what you're saying, sir, but I have good reason to believe that Hans Vorarlberg is still alive. For the time being, I'm trying to gather extra information from people who have known him.
What's your next destination?
I'm not exactly sure yet.
Doesn't sound like you know too much, Kate.
I just need a bit of time, Mr. Marson.
Yeah, well, time is what you ain't got. Keep me posted.
וואו, פשוט ניתק לי בפרצוף. איזה בוס מעצבן. או, יותר נכון לקוח, הוא לא ממש בוס. כאילו, הוא בוס, אבל לא שלי. אוקיי, בואו נלך למכשיר פה. ואז נסתכל ונראה אם צריך לדבר עם עם האחראי על התחנת רכבת עוד פעם, וננסה לקחת את הבובת ממות על הפרופסור. לדעתי אני לא יכול להשתמש בזה עדיין. כן. אוקיי. צריך איזה מפתח איפשהו.
That looks broken.
אוקיי. נראה אם יש עוד איזה משהו לבחור פה להגיד לי.
I'm sorry to
What?
I've just been to see the rectors, and they...
I thought they'd say that. Rules are rules, and you gotta stick by them.
Absolutely. I've got...
Well,
But it's like I...
the locomotive's engine might not...
It's a possibility, I suppose.
Nothing. It's just an idea. Anyway, miss, you...
The sailors on the barge reckon they could help me tow my trip.
Miss, really? I'm surprised at you.
Right. I need cash.
Look, lady, I'm only a station master, huh?
I won't...
Well?
אני חושב שהדבר היחיד שאני יכול לחשוב עליו כרגע זה... לא להתקשר למספר שיש שם דרך הטלפון, שאני לא חושב שזה אופציה. אני חושב שפשוט אפשר לבדוק את זה. לא, זה לא אופציה. נכון, אי אפשר ללחוץ על הכפתורים פה. כן אפשר. זה כן אופציה. בוא נראה אם זה ייתן לי לקחת את הבובה מפה. כי לדעתי זה אמור לתת לי לקחת אותה. נראה על הדרך אם לאוסקר יש משהו להגיד. יופי.
Everything okay?
Yes.
Oscar, the
No, there is nothing like that. You will note, however...
Okie dokie. I'll have... Oscar?
אוקיי, עכשיו נחזור לפרופסור ונביא לו את הבובה. ואחרי זה נראה לי שנסיים את הפרק. בוא נראה איזה הבובה שהפרופסור דיבר עליה.
Do excuse me, Professor. Professor, sorry to disturb you again. Professor, I have brought you something that should be of interest to you.
אני יודע שהיא פונה אליו 3 פעמים עד שהיא אומרת לו.
What have you got there, then? Let's see. An effigy of a mammoth. But this is Hans' doll, is it not? Yes, of course it is. How on earth did you... Oh my God. It's in my hands. It exists. It really exists. Please do excuse me. I'm deeply, deeply moved.
You see? Your Hans and my Vorarlberg heir are one and the same.
This is incredible. After all these years, how can I ever thank you, my dear? Oh, I must waste no time. I'm off to my laboratory. I must study this carefully. May I borrow your treasure a moment?
Well, actually,
Don't worry, miss. I will take the greatest care of it. But I need to study it. You see, it has such importance to me that this very afternoon I shall deliver an impromptu lecture to my students about this very object. If you are interested in Hans Vorarlberg, then it is essential that you attend.
האמת שלא ממש.
do you think so?
ההרצאה שלו די
Obviously.
משעממת.
Give me your
לא
telephone
קשורה
number
לשום
and I
דבר.
will call you the moment my lecture begins. I will return you your doll at the end. You have my word.
אוקיי. ועכשיו אפשר להיכנס גם לחדר שם. אוקיי, זה עוד צליל למכונה שלנו. על מה מסתכלים פה בזכוכית מגדלת? אני אנסה להיזכר. צריך את זה בשביל היין. או לא יין, אני לא זוכר בדיוק מה זה. מה זה? מה עזבתי שם? כזה, אוקיי. זהו. יש לך עוד משהו להגיד לי?
What is it you want to?
טוב, אני חושב שאנחנו נסיים פה את הפרק. לא התקדמנו יותר מדי, אבל למדנו קצת על התחנה, קצת על האנשים פה, על ה-NPCs החדשים. אנחנו נשתמש בסילינדר הזה פעם הבאה. זה לא, זה האבקה של הפטריות. אוקיי, זה לא... היין זה לא באזור פה, זה אחר כך. אופסי, ספוילר. אז אני אסיים פה את הפרק, אני חושב שזה בפרק הבא. מה? איכשהו התחברו לי כל המילים ביחד, זה תמיד קורה לי. אני מגמגם טיפה כשאני מדבר מהר. להתראות.